What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, it's transfer tips for Game Week 18. So I'm going to go through some popular players people are thinking about putting into their squads or taking out and give my opinions on whether they are good moves or not. So let's get into it. So let's start off with midfielder options between 7 and 9 million. You could also call this Bruno Fernandes replacements if you wanted to, which I know I've already covered quite a bit this week. But it's a popular topic of conversation, and I'll try and keep this as quickly as possible. Also, there's chapters in the video if you want to skip forward. So the best two options are probably CUNHA and Foden. In terms of long-term pick, Foden is the one if you don't already have him. But there is an argument to be made that in the next 4 game weeks, CUNHA is the better pick. Man United have got Newcastle at home, Wolves at home, Leeds away, Burnley away. That looks better than what City have. Forest away, Sunderland away, Chelsea at home, Brighton at home. Also, there's a very good chance CUNHA is on penalties. Not a certainty, but a very good chance. And he's cheaper as well. And I know there will be some concerns that without Bruno Fernandes, Man United will be a much worse team. And he will be a huge miss. And Man United do have players at AFCON, players injured right now. It's not great. But they're not going to suddenly just score no goals. The fixtures are still very good. And CUNHA is the highest goal threat in that team. So I still really like him as a pick. And also, it wasn't that long ago that no one was looking at Foden. All of a sudden, he did a lot better. No one's been looking at CUNHA. All of a sudden, he's doing a lot better. The stats are looking healthy as well. 0.37 non-penalty expected goals per 90. Highest on this list. So I really like CUNHA. And most people already have Foden, so it's not really one to worry about. Outside of those two, I do like Wirtz as a punt. I would prefer to wait until I hear from Slot to buy him because he did make a sprint at the end of the game against Spurs and he did kind of like reach for his hamstring. It could have just been cramp. We'll have to wait and see. But if he's fit, the minutes should be good with the number of suspensions and injuries that Liverpool have got right now. And look, he hasn't done anything so far this season, really. But again, neither had Foden recently, neither had CUNHA recently. What better fixtures to start your season than Wolves at home, Leeds at home? And then even Fulham away in 20 is not awful. Arsenal away in 21 is pretty awful, but then it's Burnley at home. So I don't mind Wirtz even potentially coming in for Wolves at home, Leeds at home, and then selling him again to someone possibly cheaper to free up money for another move, whatever works for your team. So I quite like Wirtz, and I'm kind of coming around to him as maybe a pick for my own team. Anthony Gordon is going to be quite popular, I think. The only thing that concerns me is the minutes. And look, it hasn't stopped him doing pretty well recently. If I just bring him up here, you know, he scored a 10-pointer against Chelsea in game week 17, a 10-pointer against Burnley in 15, but he's played 71, 58, 73, 24 minutes. The early subs are just frustrating, especially when they're before the 60th. And there is a chance that he gets benched because they do have a lot of options to play in those, you know, left wing, right wing positions. And sometimes Gordon can play through the middle, but they don't even need that right now because they got Voltemada and Visser. So his minutes are a slight concern. I'd be pretty confident he'd start against Man United. And then the Burnley game is on Tuesday, so it's Friday, Tuesday turnaround. That's probably okay. Then they don't play Palace until Sunday. So there is every chance that Gordon will start the next 3. But the Leeds game is then 3 days after Palace. So that could be a Harvey Barnes game. Now, he's only 7.3 million, Gordon. He's on penalties, and he will start way more often than he doesn't. But he's not a sure thing anymore. In the past, you just go for him because you knew he'd start every single game, play 80 to 90 minutes. That's not the case right now. That is why I much prefer someone like CUNHA, even though obviously he's a bit more expensive. You've got to take that into account. So I think it's okay to take a punt on Gordon because his underlying numbers so far this season have been great. It's just the minutes are not quite there. And by the way, if you wanted to even buy him this week against Man United away, not a terrible option. Newcastle will probably do quite well from an attacking perspective in that game. Declan Rice I spoke about in yesterday's video. He's kind of a set and forget, which is absolutely fine. But he's not going to go and get those 11 pointers all that often. As I said in yesterday's video, there's lots of game weeks before that where it's kind of 6 or 2 or 3. People started to get a bit frustrated. He's more than reasonable to put in, get the odd DEFCON, the odd attack and return. But I think the other 4 players I've already talked about, they're just, I don't know, there's just something about Rice I can't quite get on board with. Because I just deep down know that people don't have the patience to stick with him for 6 weeks. Whereas CUNHA, you bring in for 4, then you sell. Anthony Gordon, you take a punt on Burnley away, Leeds at home, Wolves away, then you sell. Wirtz, you bring in for Wolves at home, Leeds at home, then you sell. With Rice, it's a bit more difficult. I feel like Rice is the kind of player that in a few game weeks' time, people will be questioning as to whether they should get rid of him or not. And there's no kind of, okay, do you do it against Bournemouth away? Okay, but that's not that much better than what Villa at home. You know what I mean? There's no like kind of jump off point that's obvious, which is not a problem, by the way. It absolutely isn't. But I know that's not how most people think about their players. So he's fine as a pick, but I do probably prefer one of the other options I talked about. And then you've got Sharda. He's not that exciting, but he's only 7 million. His minutes should be pretty secure. I suspect he'll start every game over Christmas. He's averaged 85 minutes per start so far. His underlying numbers this year have been terrible. But again, broken record alert. So were some of the other players on this list who have all of a sudden started doing well. Like, numbers can change. And in previous seasons, he's had much better numbers than what he's had so far. So do you trust the previous seasons? Do you back what's happened this season? That's up to you. But I think he's an okay pick. He's probably the least exciting option here, apart from maybe Rice, because I don't think we can call Rice exciting. He's a good pick, but not exciting. I don't know. I kind of like Sharda, but also kind of hate him as a pick as well. I mean, it is 3 home games in the next 4. Bournemouth, Spurs, Sunderland. So it's not all that bad. But I feel like if you buy him, you need something pretty quickly just to put your mind at rest that he's actually an okay pick. If he blanks against Bournemouth, all of a sudden you're going to be questioning him quite a lot. So for most people, just go for CUNHA. If you don't have Foden, get him. Vert's very short-term punt. Gordon, 4 to 5 game week punt. They're my favourite options. So what about those of you looking for a new defender? Right at the top of the list, I think it's worth considering Everton ones this week. They've got Burnley away, Forest away, Brentford at home, Wolves at home next 4, which looks really nice. Then it's Villa away in 22, not quite so good, but then Leeds at home in 23. So next 6 game weeks overall, not terrible whatsoever. Tarkowski, 5.5 million, absolutely nailed, averaging 10.35 defensive contributions per start. So he's going to pick up those additional 2 points quite regularly. I would also say there's quite a few clean sheet opportunities over the next 6 weeks. The only thing to say about Tarkowski, he's on 4 yellow cards. So if he gets one against Burnley, he'll miss Forest. If he gets one against Forest, he'll miss Brentford. That's the only thing to consider. But if you can come through the next 2 games without a yellow card, there's no issues because the threshold will go up to 10. So you have to basically assess for your own team how badly will it hurt if he picks up a yellow. The other option is to go for Michael Keane. Same team, same fixtures, but a lot less money at 4.7 million. And actually, he's picked up 0 yellow cards this season, so he's not going to get suspended anytime soon. And he's averaging 10 defensive contributions per start. So not that far behind Tarkowski from a defensive point of view. Slightly better goal threat as well. And he saves money. So actually, you look at it from that kind of viewpoint, Keane is almost a no-brainer. No issues with suspension, good goal threat, good defensive contributions. The only thing with him is, how long will he remain in the team? When Jared Branthwaite comes back, whenever that might be, what happens? Does Keane drop out? That seems the most likely thing to happen. Lots of people will point out that Keane's been very good this season, potentially even better than Tarkowski, but I don't think it matters. I do not see a circumstance where Branthwaite comes back and gets benched regularly, and I don't see a circumstance where Branthwaite comes back and it's Tarkowski that's benched. Michael Keane's the one at threat. Right now, at the time of recording, I do not know when Branthwaite's going to be back, but I will say this, I am fairly confident you'll get the next 4 game weeks minimum out of Keane. I don't see Branthwaite being back by the 7th of January. So between now and that Wednesday, you've got Burnley away, Forest away, Brentford at home, Wolves at home. I'm pretty confident, can't 100% guarantee it, but pretty confident Keane will start all of those. Once you have the FA Cup break after the 7th of January, it's then game week 22 against Villa away on the 18th of January. I think around this point, we'll start seeing Branthwaite coming back. How quickly he'll be able to play every game, I don't know, because he was injured already this season, then got a setback, quite a big one as well. So I suspect they will manage him a little bit. But as soon as he's back, it puts question marks on Keane's minutes. So again, are you prepared to put him in for 4 weeks and then have to sell him again? How much disruption does that cause your team? These are all things to think about. I might just risk it, to be honest. Because if Branthwaite gets another setback, Keane's just such a good option up till game week 23. And he's such a good price as well. Newcastle defenders worth considering, but probably not till 19. So if you're looking for a new defender, and you can put it off until next week. They got Burnley away, Palace at home, Leeds at home, Wolves away, Villa at home. Lewis Hall at 5.2 million, definitely worth considering. If you don't have that much money to spend, then Chow is absolutely nailed at 5 million and probably slightly better for Defcons. But Hall's not awful for Defcons, 7.83. He's not going to pick it up that regularly, but he might get it the odd time. And his attacking threat is better as well. And with Dan Burn injured, Lewis Hall should be pretty much nailed. The only thing with Lewis Hall, and it's similar to, like, I don't know, like a Mason Mount almost, is he fit enough to play all these games after he's already been injured this season? The turnaround time's not bad, as I discussed with Anthony Gordon, so I think he'll be okay for the first, like, 3-4 fixtures on this list. It's just about that midweek game week. So I quite like Lewis Hall, but I'd probably prefer to buy him next week. As bad as you might think Man United are, they're not bad in attack. And I think that will continue to be okay, even without Bruno. Nico O'Reilly is almost like come out of the conversation in terms of buying because you missed the West Ham game now. But he continues to start. The goal threat is also pretty decent. Like, right now, he is reminding me a little bit about Munoz. Munoz is always easy to ignore until he scores, and then it's like a reminder of how good he is. Nico O'Reilly will score soon, and all of a sudden there'll be a clamour to get him. So I still think he's quite a good pick because of that attacking threat, because his minutes are good. But you are bringing him in before 2 away games, Forest and Sunderland, and then Chelsea at home. So I don't know. If you need someone 5.3 million or below this week specifically, you don't want to go Everton. I don't mind O'Reilly. But I look at that and I think I'd rather buy an Everton defender this week, and I'd probably rather buy a Newcastle one next week. But all it will take is a goal against Forest, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, why have I been ignoring O'Reilly all this time? So he's still a good pick. And then, of course, you've got more money to spend. Arsenal defenders are not awful. Like Villa, I do think 19 to 21, Villa at home, Bournemouth away, Liverpool at home is not great. But individually, if I had to play an Arsenal defender against Brighton at home, Villa at home, Bournemouth away, it's okay. It really is. And then long term, they're good picks. So Timber at 6.5 does feel quite expensive at this point if you don't already own him. Calafiori also pretty much nailed at 5.7 million is an alternative. Obviously, once Gabriel's back, he's going to be the one to own. So if you can wait a little bit longer, maybe just see what the update is on him as to when he might be back. But if you want someone this week, I don't mind buying an Arsenal defender, even to like double or even possibly triple up. It's not necessarily the best time to triple up because of those fixtures I mentioned, but it's still okay. Outside of clean sheets, they offer attacking threat as well. In terms of other defenders not on this list, especially if you want a cheap one, I don't really know who you buy this week. Like, I always think Crystal Palace is still probably okay. So like a Richards at 4.6 million, Spurs at home, Fulham at home, and Villa at home in the next 4. It is Newcastle away, Sunderland away, Chelsea at home in the next 6. So it's not great. They've just conceded 4 to Leeds as well. I still think Richards is okay. It just doesn't feel a great time to buy him. You can't buy cash before Chelsea away, Arsenal away. I mean, Sunderland defender, specifically for this week, nice and cheap, Mukiele at 4.2, playing Leeds at home, not bad. But I would say the 3 fixtures after that, not great. So if you need someone for this week and then you can bench them for a few weeks, definitely think about Sunderland. But I wouldn't want to play them regularly. Van Heck, but only from next week if he's back. West Ham away, Burnley at home. You don't want to buy him before Arsenal away. So I think if you're going cheap this week, it's got to be Keane. If you've got a bit more money to spend, there's other options. So let's talk about Cole Palmer next. 79 minutes against Newcastle in game week 17. Another attack and return as well. And at 10.4 million, he's not that much more expensive than Bruno Fernandes, who a lot of people are looking to replace this week. Is it time to get on board the Cole Palmer train? Maybe. Especially if you like a punt. Maybe it is. I'm pretty confident he will start against Villa at home. In fact, he will start unless there's a setback during training. I just can't see why he won't be in that 11. They've just played in game week 17 at the weekend. They got no midweek match, so it's a full 7 days rest. He'll start against Villa. My problem, and I do wonder whether I'm just overemphasizing the risk to his minutes, but my problem is the turnaround in games that Chelsea have. Like Saturday to Tuesday for Villa at home in 18, then Bournemouth at home in 19. Surely a player that Maresca said very recently cannot play 3 games in a week is just not going to start against Bournemouth. Surely. I'm not even sure it's a case of early sub against Villa, early sub against Bournemouth. I think it's just a start against Villa, maybe 70 to 80 minutes, and then a benching against Bournemouth and just save him for the City game the following Sunday. And then once he plays City, 3 days later, you got Fulham away. Like, I just think there's such a genuine chance that he only starts 2 of the next 4. And look, Cole Palmer is great. There's no Salah. There's no Bruno. There's not that many places to spend your money. So if you want to take the punt because you've got money to burn right now, I think it's okay. But I would just ask yourself, if he gets benched against Bournemouth and benched against Fulham, how bad is that going to feel for my team? He may well start 3 of those games, but the idea is going to start all 4. and just get early subbed in all of them. I just do not see it. Now, I don't have access to Palmer's medical records, how well he's doing in training. Maybe there'll be a big improvement over the next few days to the point where they're confident just to play him every game. I just don't see it, though. I think they have to manage him. You cannot afford to lose him for months again. So, look, he's a great player. He will get attacking returns when he plays. He could absolutely be one of the best, punts in game. Not even a punt, right? One of the best differentials in game week 18. If you're on free hit, I would definitely consider him this week because he's almost certainly going to start. And there's lots of people out there like me that are too worried to bring him in. But as a short-term pick outside of free hit, I'm just not on board with it. I'm too worried about the minutes. So let's talk about Morgan Rogers next. Probably the player this game week that I've had the most comments and messages about outside of Bruno Fernandes and Ekitike, especially on the stream on Sunday when I said there's absolutely no chance I'll be buying him before Chelsea away, Arsenal away. Lots of people really not happy about that comment that I made. You know what? I stand by it. It's Chelsea away and Arsenal away. These are arguably Morgan Rogers' two most difficult fixtures all season. Maybe you could add Man City away into the mix instead of Chelsea away. Maybe if Liverpool ever get their act together, that would also be quite a difficult game. But right now, Arsenal away, Chelsea away, two most difficult fixtures you'll have all season, and he's got them in the next 2 game weeks. So if you own Morgan Rogers, I get why you want to keep him. He plays 90 minutes basically every game. He'll continue to do that over Christmas, and there's value in that. And if you want to keep hold of him because you've already got some price rises, the long-term fixtures you quite like, completely understandable. I would not argue against doing that. But to buy him, it makes no sense whatsoever, in my opinion, with those fixtures there. And people keep telling me he's in form and he's fixture proof. It's nonsense. Like, it is just nonsense. Like, if the fact that he scored 15 points 2 game weeks in a row is such a big reason for him, or such a good argument that he's going to continue scoring points, why, when he got 15 points against Leeds in game week 12, did he blank against Wolves? And then only get 6 points against Brighton, and then blank against Arsenal. If being in form after that Leeds game is so important, why did he blank? You know why? Because Brighton away is not as easy as playing Leeds. Arsenal at home is not as easy as playing Leeds. Ultimately, he has done great in the last 6 game weeks. He's got 3 15-pointers. Absolutely massive if you're on there. Yes, I'm very jealous. But he's done that against Leeds, West Ham, Man United. 3 defences that are just not very good. And yes, we should include Man United in that. So this idea that he's fixture-proof, I don't get it. Blanked against Arsenal, 6 points against Brighton, blanked against Wolves, blanked against Bournemouth, blanked against Liverpool, blanked against Man City, 7 against Spurs, 5 against Burnley. And then we're going like way back towards the start of the season now. Like, how is that fixture-proof? He's got 3 very big scores against 3 very weak defences, neither of which you can say apply to Chelsea or Arsenal. And can Morgan Rogers get goals or assists against these 2 sides? Of course. Villa have already scored 2 goals against Arsenal this season. This time it could be Rogers. But as always in FPL, you're talking about likelihoods or probabilities. The idea that Rogers is going to get another mega haul against these 2 teams, it's very unlikely. It could happen, and by all means, clip this up afterwards and tell me I'm an idiot. I'm very used to it. But there is no way I can buy a player before Chelsea away, Arsenal away. I feel quite strongly about that. Like, even if I didn't own Haaland, he had Chelsea away, Arsenal away, I'd probably just ignore him for a couple more game weeks and then bring him in afterwards. Obviously, you have to take into account price rises, etc., blah, blah, blah. But even for Haaland, it wouldn't be good. If Bruno Fernandes comes back fit and he plays Chelsea away, Arsenal away next 2 game weeks, I'll just buy him after Arsenal. Like, so Morgan Rogers is not suddenly better than all those players. If you want to buy in game week 20 onwards, by all means do that. But ultimately, next 4 weeks, he's got Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace and Newcastle all away. I think he's massively overrated right now for an FPL pick. He is a great player. If he carries on like this, there's every chance he'll start for England at the World Cup, etc., etc. But for FPL, Chelsea away, Arsenal away, no way would I be buying him this week. Unless you got a specific scenario where you need to downgrade someone, you want to buy someone for the long term. Rogers is the only player you like. Even in that case, I'd rather spend 7.2 million on someone else short term and buy Rogers later on. It's not often I feel strongly about players like this. Usually I'm like, yeah, you could buy them, you could sell them. It's kind of okay to do. In this case, I just can't see why you'd buy. So another midfielder that people have asked me to talk about is Jack Grealish, 6.5 million, massive differential as well. In terms of active teams that are still playing right now, hardly any of them will own Grealish. And the next 6 fixtures for Everton overall are pretty nice. So Burnley away this week, followed by Forest away, Brentford at home, Wolves at home. Then it's Villa away in 22 and Leeds at home in 23. So fixture run looks good. The price is not that bad, and he's absolutely nailed. And he averages 88 minutes per start. So surely he's a no-brainer. I wouldn't quite go that far. I think if you want a punt because of the fixtures for a player that will play every minute pretty much, then I quite like Grealish. The problem is he has next to no goal threat, really. Like, saying next to no goal threat's harsh, but it's very low. 0.12 expected goals per 90. Like, it's not that great. You're talking like Declan Rice levels of goal threat, like a Dewsbury Hall, someone like that. And then you think, okay, well, he doesn't have much goal threat, but that's because he's such a creative player. I would say he's somewhat creative, like 0.21 expected assists per 90. It's okay, but not really too much more than that. Like, as an example, when I spoke about Sharda earlier, I suspect there were some people thinking, why is he even on the list? He's absolutely terrible. But his expected goal involvement so far this season is quite similar to Grealish, but he's more skewed towards scoring goals. Grealish is more skewed towards getting assists, and obviously goals are worth more. So I don't think you can look at Sharda and say he's terrible and then say Grealish is great. Like, we know Grealish is a really good player. I'm sure Everton fans are delighted that he's there and he's played really well this season. But from an FPL point of view, I'm not sure there's enough there that means he's going to get a bunch of returns. The only thing that's maybe in his favour is the fixtures. Maybe these fixtures will make his numbers go up. Like, it's quite possible. So I certainly don't hate him as a pick. And I was going to say I'd rather buy Grealish than Rodgers. I mean, probably because he's playing Burnley, but long term I would prefer to have Morgan Rodgers. I think he just got a bit more of an eye for goal. Yeah, I never quite know what to say with players like Grealish because he's not really on my radar at all. But maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe it is. With 6.5, it's really not that much money to spend, and the fixtures are great. Like, are you prepared just to put him in and hold him for 6 weeks? Because that's the problem, right? Burnley away, Wolves at home, Leeds at home looks really good, but the Wolves and Leeds games are from 21 onwards. So if he doesn't perform that well against Burnley, you're going to be worried straight away. Forest away, Brentford at home, maybe. I think he's fine. Like, if it was Burnley away, Wolves at home, Leeds at home in quick succession, I'd be a lot more tempted. I think because they're a little bit more spread than that, I'm probably not going to go there. But I really don't hate him as a pick, and he definitely comes under the punt category, and it's okay to do that in your team every now and again, or every week if you want to. So Antoine Semenyo, I think, can be summed up pretty quickly. If I didn't own him, there's absolutely no chance I'll be buying him this week. Brentford away in 18 is fine, but then it's Chelsea away, followed by Arsenal at home, which is not so good. And also, he's still only one yellow card away from a suspension. So if he gets it against Brentford away, he'd miss game week 19 for Chelsea. And if he gets it against Chelsea, he'd miss Arsenal in game week 20. So there's no reason to buy him right now. If you've got him, it's okay to sell because of the fixtures coming up, but it's also more than okay to keep him. Like, I've seen people out there that are maybe selling Bruno and Semenyo to free up money for like an Ekatike move. That's okay. I think not having Semenyo for Chelsea away, Arsenal at home is absolutely reasonable. But also, if you don't need to free up money, or you're concentrating your transfers on other players instead, playing him against Brentford away and then reassessing for game week 19, absolutely fine. So do not buy. If you want to keep him for Brentford, I absolutely get that. It's not a bad fixture, but also he's an okay sell because from game week 19 to 23, he's not so good fixture-wise. So I'm sure there's still some people out there that own Jean-Philippe Mateta that aren't quite sure what to do with him. And to be honest, I think it is quite tricky to know what to do moving forward. Like, if you've got the money to go from Mateta to Ekatike and it doesn't massively impact the rest of your team, you should probably do that. So that's an okay transfer. If you want a change to go to a different forward, then Bowen is also pretty good because West Ham's fixtures coming up are quite nice. So they've got, I think it's Fulham at home this week, and then that is followed by Brighton at home, Wolves away, Forest at home. It's over Christmas. He'll play every single minute of all those games as long as he's not injured. So I think Mateta to Bowen is also okay. Outside of that, it's pretty tricky because there's not a huge amount of other forwards. Mateta's goal threat overall this season has been pretty good. We know he's first choice penalty taker. He's first choice number 9 as well. But his minutes are being managed. Now, like Palmer, Mateta's minutes went up a little bit this weekend. So against Leeds, he played 76, which is an improvement on the 62, 65, 63 he had before that. But we know he's still managing a knee problem. And I suspect that part of the reason he played a little bit more against Leeds is because he didn't start in Europe. So he got more of a rest than he's used to. The problem is, They've got Carabao Cup midweek before game week 18. Now, obviously, before you make any decisions, you can see what happens in that game. But I suspect Palace will go quite strong, and that will include Mateta. And if they do that, and then he's got to play again on Sunday, then it's Thursday, Sunday, we could be back to 60-minute subs. So there's part of me that looks at the next two fixtures, Spurs at home, Fulham at home, think it's okay. It's actually not that bad. He's probably quite a good option, but he might just play 60 minutes in both of them. And that's not quite so good. The problem is I'm not quite sure what to do if you can't get to Ekitike or you don't want to go to Bowen, because there really is not that many other forwards to choose from. Like if you're on a 3-forward setup, like let's say you've got, I don't know, Mateta, Bowen and Haaland, then going from Mateta down to a cheap, like really cheap forward like Obi or Giu, and then upgrading your midfield or defence is still definitely an option. Outside that, like, who'd you buy? Like the problem is if you go to Voltemada, you've now got Vissa concerns. Unless Voltemada's injured or Vissa is injured, both of them seem like they should probably be avoided. Like with Voltemada, I've talked about Gordon, I've talked about Lewis Hall in this video. The turnaround times for game weeks 18, 19, 20 are quite nice. But Vissa is going to eat more into Voltemada's minutes, the more minutes that he gets himself, right? As Vissa builds up fitness, Voltemada won't be needed as much. And there's nothing to say that Vissa won't become the first choice number 9. I think Voltemada has probably played well enough so far this season that it's definitely his shirt to lose. But Vissa was very good last year. Like you see Voltemada's minutes like 72, 74, 73. They're already being impacted. Before that it was 90, 89, 84, 90. So I think because of the fixture, like if you wanted to keep Mateta this week for the Spurs game, then move him on to Voltemada afterwards, I don't hate it as a punt, because the fixtures are good. Just be aware he could get benched in one of those games, and the early subs are definitely possible. I mean, I guess I should actually make this a lot simpler, actually. If I could own Mateta or Voltemada from 19 to 22, it would be Voltemada. I would take the risk, because Mateta keeps getting subbed. So I don't mind Voltemada. Outside of that, like Calvert-Lewin, maybe the wrong time to buy him. Sunderland away, Liverpool away, Man United at home, Newcastle away, next 4. You wouldn't necessarily want to play him in all those games. I know he's in form. He can't stop scoring. He will stop at some point, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's over the next 4 game weeks. João Pedro, I just wouldn't go there. And then the forwards are just rubbish. There really isn't that many options to even consider. So I think basically moving to Ekitike, good for Mateta. Moving to Voltemada as a punt, not bad. Moving to Bowen because he's absolutely nailed over Christmas, also quite good. Otherwise, I feel like you're tanking that spot. And by the way, that could just be a Calvert-Lewin. But that's not tanking the spot, but you know what I mean? You're reducing a lot of money in it. That's fine, right? If you want to get Calvert-Lewin in as a backup for a lot of the games, that's fine. Otherwise, you're going down to like an Obi or a Giu, someone like that. I will say, by the way, just really quickly, while I'm thinking about this, if you are looking at going, I would maybe ignore Giu now, because Chelsea do have really good fixtures 21 onwards. Like if you're on Giu already, don't panic right now. But for 21 onwards, you might want a Chelsea triple up, or even 22 onwards, and definitely 24. Like game week 24 to 27, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley at home. Everyone's going to want a triple up if they can. Probably don't buy Giu right now. Obi at Man United is actually cheaper as well. He's 4.2 million. Very unlikely you're going to want triple Man United that much. Like if you're not on it soon, you're just not going to be on it. So I would go Obi basically over Giu right now. So I spoke about Grealish earlier at 6.5 million. What about Cherki at 6.6? Is he still worth considering? He started each of the last 3 game weeks, and obviously he's playing for Man City as well. So he's got better players around him. So when Grealish is creating chances at the moment, you've got like Barry up front, Dewsbury Hall's injured, Njai's at AFCON. It's not great. I still think Everton will get goals, but it's not as good as when you've got Haaland there or Foden. So is Cherki an alternative at 6.6? Maybe. The problem I have with Cherki is the minutes. Like you look at the last game week he played against West Ham, he only played 66. And I think with the amount of games that City have got over Christmas, like every other Premier League team, there is going to be early subs when he starts. Now with the players Pep has got available at the moment, Cherki probably will start the majority of the next kind of 2 to 4 games. But even that's not a complete guarantee. So they've got Forest on Saturday the 27th, then it's Thursday turnaround. That's absolutely fine. He probably will start both of those games. But then the Chelsea game is Sunday the 4th. It's 3 days later. Now, right now, Cherki is in that Man City 11. Absolutely. But what if Doku's back by that Chelsea game? and he comes in, does Foden move to the right? Does Foden play centrally? Does someone else take Cherki's spot? Like, could Bernardo Silva go and play over there? Man City have got options. And this is the problem with, like, right now, I am very confident to say Foden's minutes are great. And until they stop being great, we're going to stop worrying about him as a rotation risk. With Cherki, that worry has not gone away from me, I don't think. And then again, even if he plays the Chelsea game, it's then Wednesday against Brighton. Now, is Cherki capable of playing all 4 of these games? Of course he is. But his minutes will almost certainly be managed. So it comes down to that constant discussion. Are you prepared to put up with early subs and a possible benching? If you are, then I really like Cherki as an option because his underlying numbers are very good. His goal threat so far this season per 90, higher than Grealish, who I spoke about earlier, and his creativity much higher as well. But it's just, like, I don't know. Everyone's team's different, right? Your team might be perfect right now. You've got 4 or 5 transfers. You can mess around with players like this. But I think about it for my own team. I've got so many things to consider right now. I'm not sure I have the brain space to bring someone like Cherki in, who I know in a few weeks' time I'm going to be thinking about taking back out. I just look at those fixtures, and in some ways I think they're actually not bad. Like, Forest away is okay. Sunderland away is okay. Brighton at home in 21, not bad. You know, even the Chelsea game's at home. But are they good enough to take a punt on someone like Cherki when the minutes are not quite there? I'm not sure they are. So if you've got him, you're not selling. And absolutely, I would not sell him either. But to buy him, I'm not quite sure I would do it right now. So what if we stick to midfielders and go even cheaper? Mason Mount, 5.9 million, just 0.8% overall ownership. Is he worth going for as a short-term punt? Maybe. Man United's fixtures are very good. Like, Newcastle is not ideal, but at least it's at home. Then you got Wolves at home, Leeds away, Burnley away. Doesn't really get too much better than that. So from that perspective, I really like him. At the moment, it feels like he has to play. With the amount of injuries that Man United have got and the players away at AFCON, like, Mount almost certainly has to just start. Like, he just does. And arguably, even when everyone is fit, he's in Man United's best 11. But right now, he definitely is. And the minutes recently have been somewhat encouraging. Like, he played 90 against Villa, 68 against Bournemouth, and 83 against Wolves. It was a benching against West Ham, not ideal, but the match before that was 90 minutes. So overall, it has looked pretty good. And like I said, he almost has to be in the team right now. The only concern I have is his fitness. Like, those 2 90-minute games he's played in the last 5 game weeks, I think are the only times he's played 90 minutes for Man United. He has had a really bad injury record since he joined the club. And I'm sure it's no fault of his own, but it is just the case, right? It's just a fact. It's not been great. So can he play all the matches that Man United have got? Potentially. The turnaround time, like with Newcastle, is actually quite good. So they play on Friday against Newcastle, and then it's 4 days later they play against Wolves. And obviously both those games are at home, which helps because there's not so much travel. Then it's a Sunday game. So you would assume Mason Mount will start all 3 of those matches. Maybe there's an early sub in there. Maybe there's 2 early subs. But I think he will start. And then the Burnley game is on Wednesday. So Sunday, Wednesday turnaround, a bit more difficult. So I would probably guess that he'll start at least 3 of the next 4. And if he can stay fit, there's a chance he plays all 4. So as a short-term punt, he's okay because he's less than 6 million. And as I'll come on to in a second, I don't think there's a huge amount of options around that price. His underlying numbers, again, are kind of okay. They're not that much different to like a Jack Grealish, who I've just said are not great, but he does have a bit more goal threat. And he will probably take some set pieces in Bruno Fernandes's absence, maybe some free kicks. We saw him take a direct one against Villa at the weekend, and he also might take some corners as well. So I don't hate it, but like, he's a definite transfer back out in 4 game weeks' time. Like, after that Burnley game, Man United have City at home, Arsenal away. And at that point, players might be back from AFCON, etc. Like, he's probably then got to go at that point. So do you need a player for 4 game weeks? If so, if you're willing to take a risk, I would do it. I guess the thing that I would think about is how many other risks have you got in your team? Again, I always use my team as an example when I'm about basically discussing how I would think about this. Like, I look at my team, I'm thinking about buying Michael Keane. He might be an issue when Branthwaite is back. Nketiah is a definite issue when Gabriel's back. I've also got to sell Bruno Fernandes. I'm not particularly happy about Thiago. Dewsbury Hall needs to go at some point as well. That's arguably 5 issues in my team. And I do have 4 transfers, but if I bring Mason Mount in, I'm just adding it to the list of potential players that I need to get rid of soon. So for me, I'm struggling to get on board with Mount. But if your team looks better and you need someone just for 3-4 fixtures, I think he's okay. And if you look at the options, like 6 million or below, for midfield, like even if we go to like 6.5, right? So we include the likes of Jack Grealish, there's not a huge amount of standout options. I will say I am recording this before the Fulham game on Monday night. So please apologise. Please accept my apologies. I don't know how Harry Wilson has done in the Forest game, but even if he does really well, after West Ham away, it's Palace away, Liverpool at home, Chelsea home. So I would probably dodge him now either way. Minte 6.1. You could buy next week maybe, West Ham away, Burnley at home, but then it's City away. And he's not been doing great recently. He's been subbed around the 70th minute in 2 of the last 3. Stack is a massive enabler at 4.8, sure. Enzo Fernandez, I mean, I think I've got a question about him on the final thoughts video I'm going to do this week. I don't hate it, but it doesn't feel great to buy him before when he's got Man City away soon. Kudus at 6.4. Like, if he's first choice penalty taker, which I'm not 100% sure he will be, but he did take a penalty ahead of Richarlison in Europe. The fixtures are not bad. Like, Anderson as a DEFCON player at 5.4, it's fine. I don't know, it's just not... Like, other players I've considered are like Jorginho Ruta, 5.6. If I buy him next week, West Ham away, Burnley at home, cheaper than Minte. But I just... Brighton players just frustrate me with Hertzler there. You never get a straight answer if they get injured. And I just don't know if his minutes recently have been good, but I don't know if that continues. Yeremy Pino, like with the amount of injuries that Palace have got, he almost has to play right now. 85, 90, 90, 63, 77, 80 his last 6 game weeks. And the fixtures are quite good. He's only 5.8 million. Like, is he a better long-term hold than Mount? Maybe. But the fixtures aren't quite as good in the short term. And I'll just end on this because this is just a disaster waiting to happen. Paquetá, 5.9 million. The one thing you've got with him is like almost guaranteed starts and pretty great minutes. And he's on penalties. And the fixtures are quite good, like we spoke about with Bowen earlier. But outside of penalties, what does he really offer? Like, he hasn't hit defensive contributions all that much, I don't think. I'm just going to check here. Like, he hasn't hit it since whenever he played Everton in game week 6. So he's not going to hit DEFCONs that much. He's not going to get many attack and returns outside of penalties. I don't know, like his guaranteed minutes over crit, I don't know. Like, when I go through that list, I kind of think maybe Mount's okay to take a punt on if you're willing to sell him again in 22. If you've got the transfers to do it, why not? I'll leave that video there. Make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow for my team selection. I'll catch you then.